Welcome back to KULT, Divinity Lost, where our three protagonists are in different parts of... Well, it was a burg once known as Larkhead. Who knows what it's called now, if it even has a name. And if the Monarch complex that Erica and Jacob are in is still the home to anyone sane, stable, or in the least bit benevolent. Who knows if Frank will ever recover his sanity after recovering his son, and not in a way that he would potentially have liked. Scaling the summit has certainly had a cost. Unfortunately, Jacob has lost most of his hand. Frank, who didn't even get into the Monarch complex, has lost most of his son. But Erica is for now still intact. Maybe you could describe her as the heart of the group. But when the heart stops beating, the rest will probably die off, drop off, rot. And maybe that's what's in store for Jacob and Frank. We'll have to see. We're going to start as we leave the 5th floor of the Monarch complex. Erica and Jacob were making their way towards the stairs, away from the impromptu law courts that were once tennis and squash courts, toward the 6th floor. They'd attempted the elevator before, but had found its lights a little too erratic. They weren't too confident in where it might take them, so they decided on the stairwell. More fool them. The blood is still oozing out of Jacob's hand, as it would if you've lost 3 of your fingers and most of your connecting tissue.
It hurts so much. Erica, come on, let's keep on moving, right?
Yeah. Let's just, this... all these floors, it's just crazy. It's just madness. We just see what's in there, the next one. If it's not them, we keep going. We just keep going, alright?
Yeah.
If there's no sign of them... Oh, shit, is that blood coming through? Thought I tied that off.
I'm trying to put pressure on it, but do I have anything to sort of tie it up with to try and stop the bleeding?
Well, you had already used your shirt, but it's pretty damn difficult to staunch the flow when it's such a wide area that's been, in one part, flayed and scored, in another just blown away. This isn't just like a cut, after all. You have exposed many, many blood vessels.
We just have to keep going.
Hold it high, if you can. And just, keep your pressure on it.
I'll try. I guess the shotgun I must have left by the door.
Unfortunately, you left the shotgun back where you left most of your hand. It wasn't the first thing on your mind when you were trying to escape the freezer floor.
Erica, make sure to keep track of that gun, okay? Just have to keep on moving.
Yeah, I'll go first, but just let me know if you need to... No, just stay up and stay with me, alright?
Yeah, we need to get help.
And I take the lead, and as we get to the next floor and the next door, if there is such a thing, I try to use the gun to sort of softly push it open.
You open the door to the 6th floor. Or you try. As you push it gently with the gun in your hand, you find it's stuck. It makes a squelching noise against the floor. And there's an awful, rancid smell that hits your nose as soon as the door opens a crack.
And is there something coming through, or is it just the smell?
There's nothing coming through. It smells like rot, mould, mustiness. Not flesh, not compost so much as old hair. Wet. A wet dog that hasn't been washed for a long time.
Oh, What is that? Can I still push it open, or is it like kind of stuck?
You can give it a push.
Yeah, okay. I'll try to push, but very carefully in case I, just so I can squint in.
It's a dimly lit floor. This floor does contain apartments, although you can see through many of their doors and walls where people have just haphazardly knocked through with a sledgehammer or some other heavy instrument. The smell, quite apparently as you peer in, is coming from the carpet. It's soaked. It's saturated. As you put the tip of your shoe on it, it sinks slightly. There's water running from the walls, running from the ceiling, not in any kind of heavy flow, but a permanent discharge that's just leaking down the surface and into the threads of the carpet.
But it's sort of contained in the carpet.
Mm-hmm. It's certainly when you were on the floor below, you didn't notice the ceiling bulging.
Yeah, and it's not like running down the stairwell either.
Nope.
I push the door open a bit more and I look around inside there. Are any other signs of movement or life?
You can't see any signs of life, but you can make a perception roll.
A 6.
You detect no signs of life whatsoever, but you do feel inclined to step deeper within. There has to be something here. Why would an entire floor be abandoned?
It seems clear.
All right.
Maybe this is a place where maybe we could find something here to sort of bandage you with. I think it seems abandoned, this floor.
Yeah, all right. Let's see what we can find, I guess. And I follow Erica.
In that case, you see the hands that suddenly reach up from the carpet, somehow penetrating the thick thread and weft of the rugs. Just hands suddenly lurching out of the ground and grabbing her ankles and pulling her hard. Some of these arms snaking up to her knee and above to her thigh and just yanking. You can see 4 arms now just grabbing her, and you don't know where they're coming from other than the fact they seem to be emerging from beneath the carpet.
Fuck.
Get off me! Get off me!
And I try to rush so that I can get close and pull her back. Obviously, I don't want to get caught by any of these hands, but I want to try and pull her loose somehow.
I'm like flailing with a gun because I'm not a used shot. The first instinct is not shooting them. I'm trying to punch them away.
These grips are very strong. They're vice-like. The fingers are digging into your flesh. Jacob, you can make a... I think you can make a violence roll to see how harshly you can drag Erica away from these grips. But I'm going to apply some kind of disadvantage just because you only have one working hand.
I get 14.
You manage to loop your good arm around her waist and keep your other hand down by your side. You're not risking it. And you pull her back towards the door, but your other hand down by your side finds itself gripped by an arm that has reached up and grabbed your stump. And it squeezes, and it hurts.
I scream out in pain. Help.
Erica, you are free from the grips from the floor.
And I sort of staggering back a bit, I realise that I have the gun in my hand, and I see this one grabbing for Jacob, but I'm not gonna bloody shoot this close to him, am I? I'm gonna blow even more of it off. I try to kick towards the one that's holding on to him.
Remaining on the carpet, you're finding hands just gripping your feet again. You don't know how many people are just nesting beneath these thick rugs, but this could be an entire sleeping chamber. If there are even bodies under here, if there's anything more than arms, your mind is starting to go strange places.
I try to, stagger back, try to get him loose, try to get out of here to the stairwell again, to the next floor.
I'd like you to make a violence roll of your own, please. As in a sheer fit of frenzy, a fit of pique, you are lashing out, trying to drag him away, trying to bustle your way through the door, get away from these grasping fingers.
I roll a 6.
And instead you find yourself dragged down to your knees. You don't know how this is happening. Your mind cannot compute how this makes sense, but all of a sudden you are sinking into this rancid mulch that used to be a floor, as hands are grabbing you higher and higher up, now that you're at your waist, just underneath your ribs. And Jacob, you can see this as your pained stump is being gripped as well. Jacob,
I try to free myself somehow.
How are you going to try and do that?
With my free arm, I try to punch, to hit this arm that's grabbing my stump.
Make another violence roll, please.
18.
18, very nice. You connect with the wrist of the hand that's grabbing you, and you must hit it in such a precise way, like a trained martial artist, that its hand suddenly goes limp, and the arm snakes back beneath the rug. You are free, but you can see Erica most certainly is not.
And again, I move to try and help her, to try to save her. I'm not going to survive this by myself. And if I can't survive this, then neither will John, so I have to save her.
Describe to me how you are going to do that. Right now she is knee-deep in wet, festering rug. There are arms and hands grabbing all around her body. You only have one usable hand of your own. If you're trying to grab her, I'd like to know where you are grabbing her. And if you are pulling her, I'd like to know what you're using for purchase. Describe exactly how you're going to save your friend from this quick carpet.
So I yelled to Erica, grab my hand, and I hopefully she will put out her hand, and I try to grab it in that case, and then I will try as best as I can to sort of pull her out of there. I only have one arm though, so but hopefully she's light.
I hold up my hand, and the other one, which I'm holding the gun in, I'm going to start shooting at the floor.
There's a cacophony of noise as the gun goes off again and again and again. Your ears ring. One shot from the shotgun earlier was enough. In these enclosed quarters, the gun going off, it would be painful if you weren't so distracted by what was going on around you. Some of the bullets connect with the hands, and arms drop limp. Some of them disappearing back into the mulch, some of them just laying flat on the rugs. I am going to ask for one last attempt at violence from Jacob, and in fact, I'm going to ask you to do this. Could you roll willpower to see whether you could extend your broken hand and withstand the pain so that Erica has more than one arm pulling her, bearing in mind the number that are pulling her from beneath?
Then I shall roll for willpower.
Let's try willpower, see how you do.
I roll a 6.
You try. You think, in fact, I'm gonna reach out my broken hand. There's nothing for it. I'm not going to be able to manage this with one hand. You put out your broken one. And then you pull it back just as she snatches at it. The thought of the pain shooting up your arm again is too much. Erica, as you see this, what are your thoughts?
My eyes grow wide with surprise. I was just about to catch onto his arm, but now I'm losing balance. And I believe I'm almost falling over here because I'm stuck to the knees. And I don't have time to think much other than, what is he doing?
His other hand is still outstretched, but it suddenly looks less inviting. That said, it's still more enticing than anything beneath you. You're rapidly sinking to your waist.
I'm getting scared. If he's gonna... Can I trust him? Please? And I shout out, help me, Jacob, help me. I try to reach for your hand that you're still stretching out.
Now, Jacob, you can roll your violence.
5.
You reach out to Erica's hand, and it slips from your grasp as soon as you grip it. You're not sure whether it's the humidity, the steam that seems to be billowing up from this carpet, making everything slick, whether it's your own blood, whether it's your sweat. But you just don't manage to find a purchase. And she sinks further. She sinks above the waist now. You're starting to think maybe this is an impossibility. The hands, the arms, those that aren't, shot full of holes. Some of them are close enough now to reach up to her shoulders and just push her. Not just pull, but push down. You could make it to the door, Jacob. Nothing's grabbing at you right now.
And I stand there frozen, paralyzed, not knowing what to do. I can't do this. And I sort of look at her with pleading eyes, like, please save yourself. And
Find them, Jacob! Find them and bring them home! And I throw the gun at you.
And as you say that, I guess I see you throwing the gun. I try to catch it, and then I begin to run.
Erica, you are left being dragged beneath this carpet, the door to this floor closing before your eyes. You can fight, I am sure you try. Make a violence roll, and let's see if you score something spectacular.
8.
You push down, down, down. Beneath the rug, you feel the moisture entering your mouth, up your nose. You feel the bubbles escape. It's not like you're drowning. It's like you're entering a dream. A dream where you can hear dozens of voices whispering at you. Sleep with us, come sleep with us underneath the carpet, sleep with us in our nest. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Lose your mind, lose your memory, sleep with us. And you're finding yourself drifting off. It's quite peaceful. It really is. It's like sinking into a comfortable chair in front of a warm fire. Except in reality, you are submerged completely under a festering, living rug that stretches the expanse of this floor, in which cultists sleep. This may not be the end of Erica's story, but it is for now. Frank, you are currently in the waiting room of the infirmary next to your son, or what constitutes your son at this point. He hasn't said anything else since his proclamation of love. He's just looking at you, a blithe smile on his face.
I'm not sure which hurts more. The burning of my skin, still in so much pain, even now. What has become of Jamie? I stand up after a time and I just say, are you going to be happy, son?
He blinks. I'm happy if you're happy, Daddy.
I'm always happy, Jamie. Okay.
Can we go home now?
I don't know if both of us can go home, Jamie.
Do you have to go to work, Daddy?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. You can wait for me here. You could go to the play area, or whatever they call it. That's okay if you want to. That's fine.
I'd like to spend the day with you, Daddy. We never spend enough time together, Daddy. You're always working, Daddy.
I begin to weep. And I nod. I know. I worked too much. I shouldn't have. And I'm sorry.
It's okay, Daddy. I love you, Daddy.
I love you too. I'll see you soon. I'm sure. And I just start walking away.
You find yourself on the first floor of the Nova Mal. You're exiting an unmarked grey door. Unmarked, except when you give it a decent look, you can see at one point there was a cross stenciled into the door, but if there was any paint on it, it's long since been scratched or flecked off.
I kind of look around in a daze. Nothing really matters anymore. My son is gone. That's in there. I think to myself, it's not my son. Just a corpse they've rigged up. Whatever this place is, I think of maybe just falling to the ground and dying here. Maybe that's what I need to do. And as I'm sort of thinking that, I suppose I'm staggering towards just the exit, any exit. I'm not going to try and find the car. It's impossible. The car no longer exists, I'm sure. I just want to get back to the street, if possible.
You wind your way through the Nova Mal in a daze. None of the drones approach you, and there's certainly no other customers to get in your way. Occasionally there's a sing-song from a shop front inviting you in, but I assume you ignore it.
I do.
You make your way to the exit that you were shown before, finding your way to the street, where it's still dark. Feels like you've been here Christ knows how long, but it's still the same night.
Indeed. And for a time I just collapse onto the floor. I weep. I feel like there's no point. My son was the only thing that actually mattered in my life. I think, at least my wife, she did matter once, but maybe I let her down as well. And it's as I'm just lying there weeping, I just sort of open my eyes at one point and just look towards the tower, that tower they went to. And I know it's all my fault. But then it's like there's a little voice, just a small voice, that says, "Is it only your fault?" And I go, "What do you mean?" And the voice says, "Think about it. You tried. You tried everything. But he wouldn't listen. Jacob Miller wouldn't fucking listen! You told him, 'Let's go now. My son is safe. Go now. Get help. Get help.' No. And then, 'This is too far. This is too dangerous. We should go now.' No. And finally, I tried. He abandoned me. With Erica. It's not her fault. She just does whatever he says. Right? Fucking Jacob Miller. He sacrificed my son. For his dead son. That's what happened, isn't it? And as I'm feeling this, I suddenly see that I'm getting up. Don't know how, but I'm up. And I just start walking towards the tower. I'm going to die here. This is hell and there is no escape. But he needs to know what he did before I die, right? I just want that to happen. That's all I want to happen. And I find myself staggering forward, ignoring the pain of the burns as I head towards the Monarch complex.
As Frank trudges along, he can see outside the front of the Monarch there's a gathering of people. They're in a circle. They're singing. And admittedly, most of it doesn't go in. This isn't what you're focused on right now. But you can see it out the corner of your eye, even as you pointedly walk past. A creature of eyes and tongues and arms and legs, sprawling and writhing and gesticulating in the middle of the circle, like a fly that's just hit a window buzzing around, but made purely of flesh and gristle. Something totally inhuman, totally unearthly. But then again, you've already seen your son being rendered into something inhuman. So how does Frank feel?
At the corner of my mind, there's a scream of true horror. This is a horrifying thing. But it doesn't matter, because I'm dead. And this is hell. And that's what is in hell, right? Eyes and tongues. I'll be devoured by that shortly. That's fine. I just need to bring Jacob with me. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And again, almost as if moving by itself, my body just moves forward. Moves forward.
Some of the cultists stop their singing to look at you. One of them seems about to approach, but her two companions hold her back, just with a gentle hand on the shoulder and a shake of the head. No, they can tell you're going to do some good work. Jacob, you're in the stairwell, you managed to make your way through it, and to your mind, you thought you had just gone back to where you started, that you had headed back into the stairwell that was going to take you back down to the courts, but you don't know how. You are in a different landing. Did you go through another door?
Where am I? This is different. Oh my god. I left her behind. Oh, and I look at the gun. Alright, but at least she gave me a chance. I can still save John. Maybe I can save Arlo too. But I have to get up to the top. What do I see here now?
On the stairwell itself, you see the number 7 painted. And a door that is marked with scratches from top to bottom.
Alright.
You could make your way back down, because the stairs go down from here, and it feels like you came out of this door, but you were almost certainly not on the 7th floor when you exited it.
No, that's right. How does that work then? But there's no way up then. There's this door that I've exited through, and then stairs down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna go back. Alright, well, I'll try moving down, I guess.
You make your way down the carpeted stair. To your relief, it isn't squelching wet as you walk. But to your immense confusion, you find yourself looking at a number 8.
What the hell? And I take the gun. I only have one hand. I try to get the clip out to see how many bullets are left. Is there anything left?
4 bullets.
And I put the clip back in. Alright. Well, maybe that will be enough. Alright, I'll open the door to floor 8 then.
There's a sense of relief and nausea, as the odour that greets you is one of young children's shampoo, the nice smell of freshly laundered clothes, biscuits and warm milk, kind of stuff served at a primary school. And you are entering a creche. It's all wallpapered, there's letters around the room, lots of popular children's TV show cutouts plastered up about the place. But most importantly, children sitting on the floor watching a puppet show. The puppet show is of the seaside variety, like a Punch and Judy. And you can hear the Mr. Punch puppet.
Who's entered the classroom, children? Ha 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 ha!
It's Mr. Miller. Jacob. Sorry if I'm disturbing. I don't want to disturb your class.
Mr. Miller? Come sit down with the other children, Mr. Miller! Ha 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 ha!
If it would be quite alright, I would like to keep on moving, but is it
Sit with us, says one of the children. Come on, sit down. Don't be such a stick in the mud, Mr. Miller.
Don't speak to him like that, children, or you'll get a whack. Whack, whack, whack.
All right. I'll sit down. Do you know how I can get up to the top? I need to speak to the people there. My son is gone. Have you seen my son, John Miller?
Do we know a John Miller, children?
No, we don't know John Miller, no. My name is John, says one of the boys.
But it's not him, is it?
No. Younger than your son. Looks quite ill, thin, hollow-eyed.
Now where were we?
You were just hitting Judy over the head.
Of course I was. Whack, whack, whack. That's the way to do it. Well now, Mr. Miller, maybe we could help you up to the top floor.
Yeah, we can help Mr. Miller.
Can you? That would mean a lot to me.
All you have to do is participate in the show. You've been to the seaside before, haven't you, Mr. Miller?
I guess I have, yeah, when I was small, yeah. Sure.
Did you like the magic tricks?
Yeah, I think I did.
Did you like riding the donkey?
No, not so much that one.
Smelly donkey!
Yeah. What do I need to do? I really need your help.
Take the swagger stick from my hands.
And I reach out to grab it.
The puppet reaches out towards you, and there's a bit of a tug of war briefly, which is clearly put on for the entertainment of the children, who all applaud as you fight with Mr. Punch for the swagger stick. But you wrest it from him.
And you just need to strike the naughtiest child.
But I don't want to. I'm not going to hit children.
It's all right. They're used to it, aren't they, Judy? Yes.
What kind of material is this made out of, this hammer? Is it a proper hammer, or is it like a...
It's made of a heavy wood, and it has a metal cap.
Oh.
I've not been naughty, neither have I. Arlo's been naughty.
Arlo?
Arlo's in the cupboard. That's where the naughty children get put.
Where's that cupboard? Is it over there, or where is it?
The art cupboard over there. The children sometimes lock the teacher in the art cupboard.
Can I go and open that? Is that okay?
If you're gonna give Arlo a whack.
Well, I need to hear it from him what he has done. He needs to confess to me.
Are you gonna give Arlo a whack?
If he's been naughty, of course.
You can't open the cupboard unless you give him a whack.
All right. I will do that. But I need to open the cupboard first.
That's the way to do it. Cupboard's unlocked. Mr. Miller?
And, I move towards the cupboard. Hammer in hand.
It is an art supply cupboard, and it opens easily. And Arlo is indeed in there, among a pile of bones and skin. Arlo looks absolutely terrified.
As I'm walking towards there, I'm looking around the room. Do I see any exit from here?
Yeah, there's one on the opposite side of the room. You'd have to cross by the puppet show again, but how fast can children really run?
Yeah, exactly. Arlo, it's Mr. Miller. Come on. And I reach out to grab him and to lift him up.
You've got to hit him!
Yeah, I will. I'm going to discipline him proper, all right? I say as I start moving as quickly as I can towards the exit.
Children?
The children all get up.
Make sure they both get a good old beating!
The children go running towards you, as you go running towards the exit, with Arlo in hand. Arlo is resisting, but only to a minor degree, mostly out of fear. You think that Arlo doesn't know what the hell's going on. Do a reflexes roll, please.
That is 15.
15. Very good, Jacob, making up for lost time. You dart through the exit to the classroom with Arlo in hand, and you do outpace the children, and you can hear the screaming Mr. Punch in the class behind you.
He's not gonna get back down without a good thrashing!
And, I try to get through the exit and close the door behind me if I can.
You do so.
And I start pulling, or like, what do I see here then? Is there stairs leading upward?
There are stairs leading upward. There are none leading down.
All right. And I haven't seen any elevators, right? It's just stairs.
No, you haven't, interestingly enough, because the elevators that you entered before did seem to have numbers from 1 to 30. But that was just one classroom on an entire floor.
Right. All right. I move away from the door a bit and start moving towards the stairs up, and then I lean down to Arlo, and I try to get him to wake up, to understand where he is. Arlo, are you there? And I hug him with my one arm. Arlo, it's going to be all right. We're gonna get out of here. We just gotta find John, all right? And then we're gonna find your mom. And then we're gonna get out of here, all right? We can do this, all right?
I want my mummy.
Yeah, I want her too. We're gonna find her, all right? But we just have to find John first. Did you see where they took John?
They went upstairs.
All right, but then we're heading in the right direction, Arlo, all right?
Mr. Punch said he was dead.
Mr. Punch is a puppet. Mr. Punch doesn't know anything, all right? John is fine, all right?
I saw Mr. Punch's legs.
All right, that's very disconcerting, but that is beside the point now, all right? Let's keep moving, all right, Arlo? It's going to be all right. Can you do that, Arlo? Can you follow me?
Yes.
All right, then let's go. And I begin moving.
Erica, you wake up.
I look around. What happened? I fell asleep.
You're floating in a swimming pool. On a lilo, inflated.
Well, this is nice.
Except for the swimming pool being crawling with frothy pollution. The water is a foul brown-grey colour. Unidentifiable chunks of meat bob on its surface. The floor around it has subsided.
And as I sort of get up on my elbows and I see this, I sort of try to make myself as small as possible. Oh, no. And I look around. Are there other people here?
There are a few people lounging around the swimming pool, yes. As if this is some wonderful place to rest.
And they're just sitting there and... What was I doing?
That's the thing, you can't remember at all. The last thing you remember was, well, back when you were speaking to Bronson at the police station.
I was speaking to... And I had to tell him I was a man because he didn't like women. How did I get here? See if... Can I move myself towards the edge of the pool without...
Yeah, you can paddle your way through the brown sludge.
I had no recollection of anything else, so...
It tingles your skin
Yeah.
as you do so.
Ooh. And I start doing that. And I... What am I wearing?
You're wearing the clothes you wore before, although they seem to be saturated wet. And they stink.
And beyond the people around the pool, what do I see? Is it like... Do I see buildings and what's around here?
You feel like you're in a large leisure centre. The walls all appear to be a frosted blue glass. You can see a number 15 painted on one of these panes of glass. The exterior of the swimming pool, as mentioned, is largely sunk, with lots of these pools of rancid water, and beach bathers, some of them, just laying around, trying to catch a tan, despite the fact there's no sun in here. You can see a pair of double doors on one end of the pool. You can see some gym equipment. And all the way on the other side, you can see a single door. You think the single door, judging from the lights above it, leads to an elevator.
Oh. Right. We were going to the tower. I sort of try to scramble up on the side of the pool as I reach it. And I look at these people just lying there inside. This is weird.
One of them sits up. It's a man with a thick, hairy chest. He's got a pair of shades on that he flicks up at the side so you can see his eyes. The lenses go up, the rest of the glasses do not.
Hello?
Hi there.
Sorry, have you seen any man, and I try to describe Jacob, around here?
Can't say that I have, lovely lady. You woke up sooner than we thought. A little overdressed to get a suntan.
What happened to me? How did I end up here?
You fell asleep.
I fell asleep? Where?
Mm-hmm. Can't say. All I know is you emerged from the pool. He gestures with his head.
I came out of there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a freaky-deaky place we got here.
Freaky deaky?
I tell you what, why don't you just take one of these recliners, have a lay down. It may not look like much, but that low blue light in here, that'll burn up your skin to a nice shade of brown.
Really? How long have you been here?
Oof. I always take a spot by the pool, at least once a day. Been doing so for probably the last 8 years.
Where are you from? How did you end up here?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
What I mean is, I'm not from here. Are you from here? Or have you ended up here as well from somewhere?
You got a lot of questions, lovely lady. Maybe you should be down in the courts playing squash.
Courts? I've been looking for my son, you see? His name's Arlo. Are there children here?
Sure, we got kids. This is an apartment complex. You got families, single people, lots of single ladies. Are you a single lady?
I'm afraid not, sir. But where is this kids? Is there a kids' place?
Yeah, sure, we got a few. I mean, kids live in the apartments just like everybody else. But we got a creche, we got a school. Some of them like to take in the view from the top floor.
Top floor?
Yeah, if the man will let them up there.
The man? How do I get up there? Is that the elevator?
Lots of questions there, lovely lady.
I'm a bit confused, sorry. I just can't seem to remember what just happened to me.
He climbs up from the recliner, wearing a pair of Speedos. Considering his claim of a suntan, he completely lacks it. His skin is pale to the point that you can see veins riddling his body. The only real colour beyond the stripes of blue, which show up strangely given the low UV light, which would usually make such things disappear into the skin, is the thick bristling hair all over his chest. Why don't I take you there myself?
I look at him and I try to determine if he's actually going to help me or if some bastard.
Sure. Roll on intuition.
One of my best attributes, actually. Let's see, what's this one? I roll a 9.
Well, you can't say you'd feel safe entering an elevator with him, but what choice do you have? He grabs your wrist without asking.
I can walk on my own if it's all the same to you. Yeah, I'll come with you. And I try to just, listen myself.
That would be delightful. Tell me, what's your name?
I'm Erica. Who are you?
Name's Smith.
Smith.
That's right.
Yeah, alright. Well, I appreciate you wanting to help me, Smith. So...
Let me just slip a pair of flip-flops on. There's some nasty-looking pools around this swimming pool, and you don't want to get your bare feet in them.
No, I'm afraid it's a bit too late for me for that.
Yeah, looks like you took a damn good swim in the Leith. How's that head of yours? He actually knocks your head with his hand.
And how does it feel?
Empty. Dazed, foggy memories.
It's like I hit something and I can't remember. I was with Jacob and Frank. We were looking for our kids.
Jacob and Frank, your kids. I just wish you would shut up and give me some attention for once.
Well, I'm coming with you, aren't I? So if you could help me, I really need your help, okay?
That would be delightful. Come with me to the elevator. He walks over to the elevator, he pushes a button, and the door slides open with a bit of a grinding crunch. Someone needs to get maintenance to look at that.
Yeah, sure.
Après-vous.
I go into the elevator.
He follows. Which floor was it you were looking for?
Well, wherever you think they may have, where the kids might be.
Well, there's lots of places the kids might be, lovely lady.
You were saying a crash? You were saying something at the top?
Yeah, sure. But I don't have a pass to get to the 30th. It's a very exclusive club. But I'll take you down to the crash.
Alright. I mean, Arlo's a bit old for the crash, but why not? Maybe we could ask someone there. Thank you.
Not a problem, lovely lady. There's a trick to this.
Yeah?
You see him push the numbers in a bizarre order, rather than just going for a single floor that he's aiming for. He performs some kind of mathematical equation, because you can hear him working it out as he's pressing it. So, if I divide 20th by 4, I still need to obtain a 3 from somewhere, but I can't divide again. And the mathematical equation that would lead to the 8th.
Can I make any sense of it?
It's...
Is it completely...
You're no mathematician, but yeah, sure, you can give it a go. Make a reason roll, please.
No, it's not good. I roll 8.
An 8, he says.
What?
Did you just say 8? Did you just think 8? I think you did, didn't you? He knocks you on the head again. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, did I? Sure.
The elevator starts moving. Hey, once we're done here, Erica, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I could help you top up your tan.
Sure, I need to find my friends.
Yeah, your friends. It's funny, you talk about your friends all the time. I've never met them.
Well, maybe we could become friends, Smith. And you can be one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. I should give you some advice. See, I'm not going to go in the creche. I'm inappropriately dressed. But if you find the killer in this apartment complex, I hear there is one. It makes living here a real pain.
A killer?
There's a killer. I say, forget your kid, forget your friends. Just get the hell out of here. Take a window if you have to. Doesn't matter how high up you are. You'll land safe. Or at least safer than if you were being hunted by him.
There's a chill running down my spine, and I say, right, and...
Hey, he grabs your face again. This time, his thumb on one cheek, his fingers on the other, and he squeezes. This man clearly has problems with personal space. You listen to me, lovely lady. This is good advice. You want to get out of here, you take a window. You understand? It's better to jump than to be hunted up and down these stairs and in these lift shafts. Do you understand me? Nod if you do.
I nod. I blink and I nod.
He smacks your face affectionately as he lets go. We're here. 8th floor.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm going to leave you be here. But if you need me, and I really do good advice, and I can get you one hell of a suntan, look for me on the 15th. Okay, good looking?
Okay. Thanks, Smith. And I... step out the elevator.
Going up, he disappears. You find yourself in a nursery. There are no children around, but it does bear all the trappings of a nursery. It's filled with pinks and blues and all kinds of primary colours. It's quite reminiscent of home. It's certainly not as awful as the rest of this town has been. You can hear shouting and even some screaming, but it's children. Not here, but beyond a door that leads out.
Oh. I look around. Strangely familiar place. And strange as it might seem, but is there anything that I could arm myself with here?
There's some plastic chairs. There's a broom. You could take a broom. There's nothing much here that could be seen as sharp or dangerous. This is, after all, a nursery in a perfectly normal apartment complex.
Of course. I look at the broom, and I hear the sounds of children, and I sort of snap out of it, and I start moving towards them, towards the door where it comes from.
You find yourself leaving a door, finding yourself in a corridor, and you recognise now, you start to remember things about this place, about this apartment complex. This isn't a floor you've visited before, you're fairly certain of that, but just the structure of the corridors and the rooms.
Putting my feet on the carpet, there's a shudder going through me. Not really sure why. But are the voices becoming louder? As
Yeah. They're not screaming in distress. They seem to be screaming excitedly.
Oh. That's good. I keep moving towards them then.
Armed with your broom.
Yeah, I apparently picked that up.
You find the source of the noise. It's a door marked with a number 1.
And what do I hear in there?
Lots of children screaming excitedly and an occasional high-pitched adult's voice that sounds eerily reminiscent of something from the seaside.
Do I recognize any voices?
No. You can hear the voice saying,
Arm yourselves! Arm yourselves! Arm, arm, arm!
Arm yourselves. I gently push open the door and look in.
The door makes a ding-a-ling-a-ling sound from the bell above it.
Who's entering the classroom now, kiddies?
Hello?
You see a whole bunch of children armed with bones. They're armed with long bones. Some snapped off, some intact. And they all look emaciated, hungry, sallow. The adult speaking to them is a Mr. Punch puppet, speaking from a puppeteer's box, and pointing at you.
Is there seemingly then an adult in there in the box?
Assumedly so.
Hello?
Hello?
What?
Are you friends with Mr. Miller?
Mr. Miller? Jacob?
We found one of his friends! Isn't that excellent news, children?
What did he do? Where is he?
Oh, you should come down for the puppet show, and we'll tell you all about it.
Please tell me. Yeah.
Okay. Come on. Come back closer.
I look at the kids and the bones.
It's a great strain of a voice to speak loudly like this.
As I pass them by and I go slowly in there, closer to the stand.
Mr. Punch leans over his parapet, and you almost feel like he's breathing on you through that great crooked nose of his.
Mr. Miller stole something from us. So we're gonna steal something from him! Isn't that right, kiddies?
At which point the kiddies start thrashing you and stabbing you with the bones in their hands.
Oh, no, stop it! I try to get out of there. I sort of just instinctively punch at the doll. And then the puppet, and then I start trying to run out of there. Stop it, kids!
The puppet ducks back down. The children keep assailing your legs and your body as high as they can reach with these sharp stabbing bones. There's nothing really that seems hard enough to penetrate the skin, but that said, it's bruising you. It's drawing little nicks of blood.
I say, ow, oh, you got me. Oh, that really hurts. Ow. I try to play along here. Oh, no. You punished me.
Make a coolness roll, please.
It's a joke. 7.
You need more punishment! One of them, it seems to be armed with a femur, and has it held above her head like a great club, and swings it at you with a crack across your back.
Ow! Alright. Alright. Yeah, you got me, okay? Yeah, can you tell me where he is?
I'm going to ask you to roll charisma, please.
17.
He went that way! All the children point towards another door.
Okay.
At this point, Mr. Punch appears again. But he's not protruding from behind his parapet. He's leaning out from the side of the puppeteer's box. And that's when you see a ghastly long leg stretch out underneath him, and then another one. What you're looking at could on one level be comedic, except it's quite clear that he isn't a puppet. It's some bandy-legged, miniature-bodied, sentient Mr. Punch, to put it mildly. It's like something out of your worst childhood nightmares.
What is he doing?
He's striding towards you with purpose, and while the expression on his face hasn't changed, after all he is only a puppet, you think he means to do you harm.
I'll start running towards where they pointed me to.
Run, run, run! Come back, Judy!
And I'll throw the broom behind me just to create something for him to stumble over.
Ah!
It tangles his long legs as you make it to the door. It opens.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played the adventure The Summit for Cult Divinity Lost, from Taroticum and Other Tales. The Summit is the product of the twisted mind of our dear Matthew Dawkins, and you will find it released for free today by our friends at Helmgast. Check it out over at the official Cult webpage and their social channels, and do check out Matthew Dawkins' Patreon and his webpage over at matthewdawkins.com to support his brand of darkness. The music is from the official Cult Divinity Lost soundtrack, featuring Mechanoreceptor, Atrium Carceri, Howler, Warfield, Precision Field, Zvaga, Occult Cow Demise, Pandora's Black Book, Tantric Ape, Mind Divided, Michael Eidhall, and Second Escape. The album was used with permission from Helmgast. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin, Heuschober, and David, for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want early access to our content and to hear raw versions of our recordings right after we have done them, or join a campaign of Cult Divinity Lost as a player, please check out our new higher level tiers on Patreon. It's a great way to get more Red Moon roleplaying in your life, and to help us keep the show going. Thank you again for listening, and remember, death is only the beginning.